Hey guys, this is the WaltOnFootball.com After Dark Show for March 27, 2025. Going to be breaking down 2025 fantasy football ADP slash best ball ADP. Just going to go through all the entire list here and talk about what stands out as players being too high or too low. So before we get to all that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something for the merch store. It's our 801 AMC shirt. This is a shout out to Cassandra, who's been asking about AMC stock recently about, regarding Snow White being in theaters and the movie bombing. So as I always say, this is financial advice. Do not buy AMC stock. You will lose money. I guarantee it. But you can buy the AMC 801 shirt if you want to for some reason, or one of these other shirts that we have on the merch store. We have some mugs as well. They are 20% off, which means they're like this. Some of these are $12.96. I think it's a great deal for a shirt with a high quality shirt. You get to pick your own color too, so it is a real good deal. So that would help out the show a lot. Also, going to Amazon, buying my books. The most recent one is called Jerks of the College Years, where I just made fun of people. I met at Penn State for 6 years. I was there for more than half a decade, and I ran into a lot of weird people. So if you're into that sort of humor, I think you will enjoy the book. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. I can't say it enough, like how much you guys help us out. Yesterday, we had a $15 super chat from Alan Stafford. So that was like 30x what the YouTube ads would pay. YouTube ads pay like absolutely nothing. It's a joke. So Alan Stafford, Slew, John Sanders, Degeneron, Can't Make an Eagle, Armac, the boss, like you guys have been so great. Your contributions, I can't say it enough. So as you can see below me on the screen, Kenny's not here. He had to move today. He's finishing up moving, which is funny because last night I was like, I can't wait for tonight's show because we get to break down a best ball / fantasy football ADP. It's a first ADP breakdown. And then like Kenny, like first thing in the morning, he texts me. He's like, I can't make the show because I'm moving. But we have a great replacement. We have Butters, one of the golf guys. Butters, thank you for coming on such short notice. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've been up since 4 a.m. here, but that's okay. my wife went out. My wife is out of town for a conference, and so she had a really early morning flight. And then my daughter decided to stay up in the morning. So it's burning the midnight oil. That's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I go to bed at like 6 a.m. So you were up before I went to bed, which is it's kind of insane. But yeah, hopefully these ADP will excite you. Have you do you do best ball at all, or do you strictly do DFS and like seasonal, or have you delved into best ball at all?
I do dip into best ball a little bit, and actually, before we talk about that, congratulations to your Penn State team for a wrestling team for winning yet another national championship. And then you actually have your only 5-time national championship, because I think it was something with like COVID year, he got an extra year of eligibility. So it's like the only time there will ever be a 5-time national champion. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, again, congratulations. But yeah, I dip into best ball here a little bit. Last year I was trying to do a couple, and then I had like a free ticket, and then I completely forgot about it. So I guess it went to waste, but that's okay. I did get one in, and actually it was like in first place by a 2-week scoring margin for like, I think it was up to like week 7 or week 8. I was just so ahead of everyone else, and then I just injury after injury just dumpster dived. I'm like, all right, well, what do you do? And then like I apparently had a week where I had no quarterback starting, so I was like, well, okay, there's I guess people can catch up to me now. So
that's the downside of best ball, is that you can't make any moves, but some would say that's the upside too, because I'm someone who just loves to draft, and I'm so lazy with waiver wire like additions. I never seek out any trades. I usually decline every trade that comes to me because they're always ripoffs. In fact, we had some drama in our league, in my main league during the year, when another guest on the show, Body Burner, kept getting trade offers from Kenny, and Body Burner was like, "What are these awful trade offers?" And so he he responded with like one of the worst trade offers of all time, just intentionally, just to troll Kenny, and Kenny was not happy, and so they had I don't know, they had a spat of sorts, but it's always fun. But anyway, like I just don't like doing that stuff. I hate deciding on how to set my lineups. Sometimes it's hard to do when you have those early London games, and then I think with best ball, it's just so fun because you get to draft and then forget about it. And then you get to do another draft and then another draft. And you get to keep wasting your money, hoping that one of them hits. I had a live one during the Super Bowl. I think if I had Xavier Worthy in my lineup, I would have won. I would have at least split the pot. Like Worthy had a great like fourth quarter. So I was looking good for a while, but then I didn't have Worthy in my best lineup, unfortunately. So I feel like, this is my second year doing best ball. Last year, I was kind of hesitant to join. A lot of people I had as guests on the show kept trying to convince me to do it. They're like, you're going to be good at it. You're going to love it. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I tried it because like you, I got the free tickets. I think I got like 2 or 3 free tickets, and I tried it. And then I got hooked instantly. It was like crack. Like I was like, man, I can't do another. I have to do more. No, I ended up doing a bunch of them, and some did pretty well. So hopefully.
Yeah, that was like 2 or 3 years ago. They were just like handing out tickets like candy
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. It was like,
Yep.
because you and I grind with golf DFS, and it was like throw in a ticket or like throw in an entry. It was like every major. It was like every entry you get like a free best ball ticket. So it was like you can basically do everything for free if you really wanted to. I think one year I had like 25 free for just literally doing nothing other than just hitting like the promos. But now it was like, I think last year I only got like 2.
Well, it's a genius move because it got people into it. Like if I didn't get that free ticket, I wouldn't have tried it, but I did. So it ended up working out. So it was, even though they gave out tickets for free, I think it ended up working in the long run because we wouldn't be doing this episode if it wasn't for that.
Right.
So,
and a fun little sweat that I had actually with that one solo best ball that I had was the last pick of my draft. I actually picked Carson Wentz just for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we saw Mahomes starting to kind of get well, is he injured? Is he not? It's like, well, if he's going to get injured, he's going to get in a perfect spot because they can't lose. And then the one game that he actually played, he played like crap. So it was not like when he was with the Rams and had like a career game on like week 18 or whatever it was. So, oh well. It probably should have been Jameis. But oh well.
I had a great start to best ball last year because I drafted Justin Fields in like the 16th round of every draft I did, or most of them anyway. And I figured that like, Russell Wilson, I thought, seemed like the favorite to start, but I thought maybe if it's Justin Fields, like, he's going to post stats, and he was posting good stats. Like he wasn't translating to winning so much, or, at least like, I guess it did translate to wins, but like not like impressive wins. But he did post some great fantasy performances after the first couple of weeks, and it ended up working out. And then unfortunately he got benched. So those leagues kind of declined, kind of like yours did. But I figured let's jump into this. We'll do 12 at a time because you do 12 picks per round. So for people who are listening, I'll read off. So number 1, Jamar Chase; 2, Saquon Barkley; 3, Bijan Robinson; 4, Jahmyr Gibbs; 5, Justin Jefferson; 6, CD Lamb; 7, Puka Nacua; 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown; 9, Derrick Henry; 10, Nico Collins; 11, Malik Neighbors; and 12, Brian Thomas Jr. The boss is pointing out, I think Brian Thomas is the move for the first round pick this year. He is coming in at number 12 there at the end, so he technically does count as a first round pick. I love Brian Thomas Jr. I love Malik Neighbors. I'm definitely all for those guys at the end. Not as smitten with Derrick Henry. This is PPR, and I think Henry is overrated in PPR because he doesn't do much. Plus, he's 31, so I worry about him breaking down. So what do you like? What don't you like in the first round?
I'm actually surprised there that Barkley is not currently ADP 1. Just, you're going to have people that are going to look at, okay, what did he do last year? Okay, he had a career, he had what should have probably been an MVP, but he didn't get it. I'm honestly like, because with his stats, because he didn't win MVP, it's like you just cannot pick a quarterback, or you have to pick a quarterback every single year for that MVP, because it's like, how do you get those stats and don't win it? I just don't get it. But did they announce if they are banning the tush push, or because I know that the Packers of all teams, my team, the Packers put it out there to get it banned. Has that been pushed through? I saw today that there was a bunch of talk about different changes. Did you hear anything about that today?
They have not voted on yet, to my knowledge.
Okay.
So they're still proposing rule changes. Like today, they want to bring the kickoff out to the 35 if there's a touchback, which just seems absurd. But I feel like just go back to the old kickoff rules, I think. But yeah, no, it hasn't been voted on yet. But I wonder, are you assuming that like this would help Barkley if the touch push is banned?
Yeah, because then they can't it's not even for like touchdowns. It's just even like 1 yard lines. They're gonna just keep running the ball with him. So I mean, they're just gonna either throw him up the gut, or maybe your favorite AJ Dillon is gonna come in and try it for the 1 yard. Who knows?
Yep.
But I think that would actually help him, because we kind of saw when Hurts kind of took a step back and let Barkley get all the touchdowns and get all the kind of the glory. Basically, it's hard not to have him be number one overall, just in my opinion. I mean, obviously that can change, but it's kind of it's also a little bit of a buyer's remorse too, because last year I was saying like no, but like I was completely passing on Barkley, and he was completely like a shot right into the foot with that. It's like, all right, I'm just going to shut up now.
Yeah. I do think that'll help Barkley. So we'll have to see about the rule change if that happens. True Rofi says, Walt, with the early Derrick Henry hate this year, when are you going to learn, buddy? I don't know. I mean, how many 31-year-old running backs have done that well? He's coming off a great year for sure, but you know, I think it's crazy to think that he's going to do the same thing as he did last year. Now he could still be really good. He could still be a top 10 running back. But to take him in the first round when he's 31 and he's not a pass catcher, I just think that seems insane to me. But I don't know. What do you think?
Would be a good second and maybe third round. I would be surprised. Excuse me. I would be surprised if he dipped lower than the third round. But I mean, we've seen things shake up a little bit before too. And this is very, very early. I mean, this is pre-draft as well too. So.
Well, I will say this best ball locks as soon as the NFL draft begins.
That's right. They did bring this out for that reason.
Yeah. So everyone's on equal footing, because like at that point you don't know, because like it'd be one thing if you drafted now and then after the draft you know where the rookies are going. Like you'd be at a big disadvantage drafting now, but everyone's drafting before the draft, the NFL draft. So everyone's going to know what everyone else knows, you know. So that definitely helps, and there is $200K the first here. It's on the line, so. I think it's a cool idea, because I was always like hesitant to draft early because you don't have all the data. But here, no one's gonna have the data, so it works out that way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of rookies, we have our first rookie here in the second round. We have Christian McCaffrey, Brock Bowers, and Ashton Genty at 15. So that's 203.
Christian McCaffrey in the second round just seems weird to me, but I get it. I really do get it.
Yeah, I know. Devon Achane, 204, 205, Drake London, 206, Josh Allen, 207, AJ Brown, 208, Ladd McConkey, 209, Lamar Jackson, 210, Jonathan Taylor, 211, Tyreek Hill, 212, Bucky Irving. So I get what you're saying about McCaffrey. It's hard to trust him because he barely played last year. He's also an older running back. He's had a lot of wear and tear in his body. But it's still Christian McCaffrey, you know. Like if he's healthy, like that's gonna be a heck of a pick for you. If you go like Ryan Thomas and then McCaffrey, like that could win you your league if McCaffrey is healthy. But you know, if he's not, then what are you gonna do? But I think in best ball, like especially in a contest where it's gonna have 100 or so 10,000 people, I think you have to take chances on this. You have to take like flyers and whatnot. And if this ruins your draft, then so be it.
Yep.
But, you know, if you're doing a lot of drafts, then I wouldn't take McCaffrey in every one or anything, but I would definitely consider him. I wouldn't pass on him.
I'm actually looking at this list here, and I'm actually almost kind of shocked that Ladd McConkey is 20 on here. I would think he would be even a low first round just for, he seems to be the focal point on that team.
Yeah.
And I mean, Herbert's kind of turning it around just a little bit too. So
yeah, I like McConkey. He finished really strong last year, and plus he's going to have experience this year. I could buy it. I'm a fan of McConkey. I do get that, like, it kind of feels like sticker shocks, like what's he doing here? But he was really strong to close out the year. Ashton Genty, I worry about it 203. Like, you don't know where he's going to go. I mean, he's going to be a starter wherever he goes, but what if he goes to a team with a bad offensive line? Like the Raiders, for example. I don't think he's going to be with the Raiders, but that's just like a hypothetical. So, like, if he goes to the Raiders, I wouldn't want him at 203. But if he goes to a team with a good offensive line, like if he falls to Denver, for example, I think that would look a lot better. Plus, he's a rookie too, so you never know. Like, if he goes to a team with a stubborn coach, and it's kind of like, remember Bijan Robinson with the Falcons? Like, everyone just assumed Bijan was going to be the starter, and then it was Tyler Algier for a while. Like, you just can't really trust these rookies to start. As good as Ashton Genty is, I mean, I think he's been great. But just to draft him in the second round, like if this was like a fourth rounder, I'd be all for it. Third rounder, maybe. Like second, I think that's way too early. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you because it's one of those, we don't know where he's, like you said, we don't know where he's going. He could be thrown in as like a backup, or like even like Jamar Gibbs. I mean, we were all over Jamar Gibbs in the draft. I say we, but it should actually be more of you and Charlie, Charlie, and Jacob. We're all over him, and he was still running back too. I mean, like, they brought in Montgomery there, so I mean, he didn't really show up until at the end of the year. So it was almost like he got drafted way too high on his rookie year. Now, obviously, last year, I think he was in the right spot of where he was being drafted. But it's really hard to tell when you don't know where he's going.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty tough. I think Tyreek Hill might be a little too high. I get he has upside, but Miami's offensive line is a disaster, and he's getting up there in age. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Tyreek Hill in the second round. I don't think I'd end up with any of him. He'd have to be a lot lower for that. It's like the only other thing that stands out here. I think everyone else kind of makes sense. Anyone else here before we move
on? Let's see here. Go back up to the first round. Go back up to the first round again. I want to see if there's anyone that I would see that could drop down. I mean, you could even consider CeeDee Lamb going in the second round. I mean, unless I mean, I could be even bearish a little bit on Puka, because Matt Stafford, I mean, he's getting up there with age. Like, sure that now he doesn't have Cooper Kupp out there, but even when Cooper Kupp was out, like Puka did well, but at what point is he going to have a little bit of a slump? So, I mean, I could see maybe he's being picked a little bit high. Maybe he could be more of like a higher second round. But I totally agree with like Brian Thomas Jr. He could probably go up. There's a couple of those second rounds, like even Brock Bowers can maybe even slide into the first round as well, because if he's just becoming the focal point on that team, same thing.
Yeah, I would rather have Neighbors and Thomas over Lamb. I'd rather have Collins over Lamb. I think I'd rather have St. Brown over Lamb too. In that offense with that declining offensive line, just it's pretty rough in Dallas. I don't trust Brian Schottenheimer. I think he's terrible. So yeah, I agree. I think Lamb should probably be in like the early second round range. I agree with that too. We had a comment here. Minkus Quilby says, remember when Torrey Smith dunked on you? Classic. No, he didn't dunk on me. Torrey Smith said, "Oh, your website sucks," but Torrey Smith is illiterate, so he can't read. So no wonder he says my website sucks. He can't read it. Like, he needs pictures. We don't have too many pictures on the site. We have a couple, but not enough for Torrey, unfortunately. What other targets does Dallas have? Nothing. They don't have anything. But I don't know. I mean, I don't trust Dak Prescott with a bad offensive line.
They have a kicker.
Yeah, they do. They do. We'll see. I mean, they could draft a receiver, at number 12. I have been taking Ashton Genty, but they could go after Tedaro and McMillan, for example, or draft a receiver in the second round. I've been drafting a receiver in the third round. But yeah, I mean, look, I get that Lamb is like the only guy there, but I just don't trust that team. And I think like I'm not hating on Lamb. Like I think early second rounds, like it's pretty good, but at 106 just seems a little too early for me. If they had a better offensive line, I could buy it, but they don't have the blocking anymore. And,
they have coaching questions. They've got offense. There's a whole lot of questions on that team. Like I think people are, I get the whole Dallas Cowboys, like kind of like the Packers. Like you think about them like in the '90s. You think about them in the '90s and in the '80s, like this powerhouse team, and then like you look at now, you're almost just like, what happened to them?
Mm-hmm.
Like they used to just be contenders every single year for their division. And it was just what happened.
The offensive line just fell apart. I mean, they had when Elliott was a rookie, they had such a great offensive line, and then like piece by piece, they just lost their blocker. Zach Martin retired. Not that he played that well last year. I mean, he got hurt at the end, but they didn't have the blocking, and so that's what happens when your offensive line declines. We saw it with Miami last year. They were an offensive juggernaut the year before because they had a good offensive line, and then they lost 3 offensive linemen in the interior, and then they just couldn't move the ball in a lot of games. Just means a lot, and like people really don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, or like the casual fan. But we do.
Jerry Jones is the one usually making the picks too.
Oh yeah, and I mean he's kind of getting like in the Al Davis territory where it's becoming a clown show. Like Al Davis was a great owner once upon a time, and then toward the end, it just things became like a circus, and that's what Dallas is becoming now. So I'm not like eager to own anyone in Dallas. Like if Lamb falls to me in the second round, sure, but I'm not dying to get him.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. So third round, we have 301 T. Higgins, 302 Josh Jacobs, 303 Jaden Daniels, 304 Jackson Smith and Jigba, 305 Kyron Williams, 306 Trey McBride, 307 Terry McLaurin, 308 Garrett Wilson, 309 James Cook, 310 Mike Evans, 311 Breece Hall, 312 Devontae Adams. So there's Devontae Adams. You were just talking about Nakua. So I was kind of interesting to see where Adams goes. And I mean, he's still a really good receiver. He's not like what he once was, but still he's catching passes from Matthew Stafford here. It's better than what he's had in recent years. So I mean, nothing like I don't see anything here that I'm like I don't hate. I like maybe James Cook a little too early just because feels like the Bills have a lot of players who can score touchdowns, and the Bills have some running backs who are young, so maybe they eat into the workload. I do like James Cook, but I think third round might be a little too early. Mike Evans is getting up there in age, so maybe he declines a little bit. Breece Hall,
you're guaranteed your 1,000 yards though with them.
I guess. I mean, it has to stop at some point. He's not going to be like 50 years old and still getting 1,000 yards, right? Like it has to end at some point. Breece Hall, I could see, just not getting the receptions this year because Justin Fields is the quarterback, and usually when you have a scrambling quarterback, they're more willing to take off than dump the ball down. So Breece Hall in PPR doesn't seem as appealing as he was last year, but then again, he was a first round pick last year. So maybe this is where he belongs, but I'm not crazy about him. So what do you see here in the third round?
I'm seeing a lot of value in this third round. I'm actually surprised at Jackson Smith and Jigba. And also Kyrie is in the third round. I would think they would be probably going in the second round, to be honest, because you don't have Metcalf. That's right, because he's now with the Steelers. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Darnold has actually been kind of showing that, when he's going to different places, I mean, he's not just taking his money and just kind of taking some time off. I mean, he's always out there. It seems like he wants to prove it now. He's got some capable receivers. I mean, we saw that in Minnesota. We could see that again in Seattle. Now, I think you're going to have a different coach. So I don't know if it's going to work as well, but I mean, you're going to have your targets probably there with JSN. Then Kyrie, I mean, he's just a workhorse back. So, I mean, I get what you're saying kind of also about James Cook. Maybe being a little bit too high, but I can also see Kyrie maybe being just a tad too low, just because with the age of Stafford, I mean, maybe they rely more on the run with them.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm pretty bullish on the Rams this year. I like what they've done, getting Devontae Adams, re-signing Alaric Jackson, and I think an underrated signing was Nate Landman on defense. I thought that he was a pretty decent linebacker. It's a lot better than Roseboom, what they had last year, and their defense was so good last year. The front four, or I guess the front seven with the edge rush, particularly from Jared Verse. Verse gave the Eagles a lot of problems in the playoffs, and the Rams nearly beat the Eagles. They came the closest to beating the Eagles. So I think they're an underrated team this year. I get like Stafford is 37, like that might be the thing that sinks them, but it doesn't seem like that old, you know. I mean, we saw like it's Tom Brady. We saw like a 40-something-year-old Tom Brady win. We've seen a 38-year-old Peyton Manning win, albeit like he was kind of decrepit. We saw what is it, Brett Favre at 37-38 have a great season, taking Minnesota to the NFC Championship. So it could happen. But I do get like the worry with Stafford, and he does tend to get hurt a lot. So I do get the bearish argument with the Rams. Okay, so let's get into round 4. Begin with Jalen Hurts 401, 402 Marvin Harrison Jr., far cry from the 112 ADP he had last year. 403 DJ Moore, 404 Joe Burrow, 405 Chase Brown, 406 Xavier Worthy, 407 Joe Mixon, 408 we have Williams from Detroit, 409 Zay Flowers, 410 George Kittle, 411 Devontae Smith, 412 Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara seems like too high here. Like, he just gets hurt so often. I can't trust him there. Jameson Williams at what was it? In the middle of the 4th round. Like he was really good last year. I kind of wonder if he can keep it up. Like he's had like some, like mental stuff with him. Like he just like it took him a while to get there, and I don't know, maybe it continues, but like he seems super risky. But there is upside. Everyone else seems fine. Xavier Worthy might. I don't think he's going to be suspended because the charges were dropped, but I guess there's always a chance that they could crack down on him. And I don't know if you can like really trust him off the field too. So he's a little bit risky. Everyone else kind of makes sense. What do you think about Marvin Harrison at 402? It just seems like he didn't even come close to matching his ADP last year, but he is still really talented. Maybe he bounces back, but feels like that's still a little too high for him. What do you think about him and everyone else here in the 4th round?
It almost feels like he's on a team that just doesn't want to focus on him. It's just, you kind of feel bad for him just being that high of a pick and just really is plummeted. Like, I mean, it also could just be your quarterback situation there too. I don't know what's going on with Arizona. It's just, you kind of feel bad for him. He almost needs to get traded or go to a different team just to kind of rejuvenate his career and just give him this potential back. Because I mean, he had such a high potential, and now you're seeing him dropping these draft boards and everything too, and just not producing. So So one thing with Kamara is, do we know much about Ramczak's injury?
I don't expect him to play this year. I think tackle's in play for the Saints, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard much from it, but from what I've heard, like the Saints are maybe considering a left tackle so they can move Talis Fawaga to right tackle. It's just because like I don't expect them to have Brian Ramczyk back. That could be wrong, but even if he does return, like he might just not be nearly what he once was, just because it was such a bad injury,
Yeah, and that probably it was just a career crushing a little bit for Kamara right there too, because I mean that blocking right there kind of helped him in those situations as well. So I mean, kind of in my opinion, but who knows? I mean, in here, I mean, George Kittle could maybe be considered moving up because now that you don't have Deebo Samuel, but Deebo Samuel didn't really do much last year either, so it's kind of hard to tell. But again, you're looking at last year, and you can't always say, well, this happened last year, so it's going to happen again. I mean, that changes every single year. I mean, you could see Joe Mixon really kind of broke out, but maybe he kind of takes another step back as well. So maybe I mean, one of the what was it? Wasn't the key thing to do last year in best ball? The idea was to draft all your wide receivers. It was your running back. It was a running back year. So people who kind of gathered up all their running backs seemed to do a lot better in best ball than they did. But maybe it's another change that maybe people will be going after running backs and it's another wide receiver year. So
Something I noticed from when I drafted, it seemed like receivers are going so early. Like people were going like receiver,
yeah,
like to start their draft, and that pushed down the running backs so much it was ridiculous. Like I got Josh Jacobs in like the 5th round in some of my drafts. Like I was
yeah.
like, what in the world is he doing here?
It was because people thought there was just a huge drop off after about like the 2nd round. They just wanted to load up with whatever they could and then just pick whatever they could get.
Yeah, and I guess like we'll see what happens this year, but it just, I mean, this applies to most things in life. Just like if everyone's doing something, then just do the opposite, and you'll probably be better. It's the contrarian play. Doesn't always work, but generally, like if everyone says something, it's usually wrong, as I found out.
I can see DJ Moore actually in this range. Maybe he could be a potential sleeper because Ben Johnson's kind of changing up that offensive line a little bit there too. And maybe he could just kind of be a diamond in the rough a little bit where, they're kind of fixing their offensive line. And maybe that was just enough to kind of put him over the edge where he could just be one of those players you can get cheap or at a later round. And it just takes you right over the edge with your best ball team.
Yeah, I agree. I was hoping more would be later, be available later, because of what you said, and also Caleb Williams having more experience. The offensive line being better, and like you said, Ben Johnson improving the entire team. I think Moore could have a really good year. So we'll see. I think Ben Johnson could work his magic, but maybe Caleb Williams is just broken. That's a possibility too. But I think that there's a good chance that he definitely outplays his ADP. All right, let's go to the 5th round. We start off with 501 Rashee Rice, 502 Omarion Hampton, a rookie, 503 Chris Godwin, 504 DK Metcalf, 505 Chuba Hubbard, 506 Sam Laporta, 507 Cortland Sutton, 508 Kenneth Walker, 509 Roma Dunze, 510 Deebo Samuel, 511 Dave Montgomery, and 5 running. It looks like the rookies are going way too early. Like Omarion Hampton, like he might be a 1st round pick. I considered putting him to Denver at 20, but I think there's a chance that he also goes to the 2nd round, and so 5th round for a 2nd round running back. As I said before. Bijan Robinson didn't even get all the carries. We had Jahmyr Gibbs. He played second fiddle to Dave Montgomery. Not that those guys didn't do well, but still, like they're both better than Hampton. And so 5th round for Hampton just seems crazy to me. That's the main thing that sticks out. Also, Teteroa McMillan. I like him, but again, we just don't know where he's going to go. In my mock draft, I have him going to 20 at Denver. If you tell me McMillan's going to Denver, then I'm like, he's gonna be the number 2 receiver. I'm not like crazy about him in the 5th round. It's just way too early. Like I think like 7th, 8th round is right for these guys, not 5th round. That seems crazy. But if people are going to draft rookies like this early, then I'm more than willing to fade it and just go the veteran route. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you with the free agency because again, you don't know where they're gonna get. I mean, you're risking a lot. Like what you got to look at, especially for a rookie, like what's their ceiling? Do you think they're going to come out of the draft and have like a MVP year as a rookie? I mean, we certainly had an eye-opening with Jalen Daniels for sure. Like he kind of came out like a Lamar season out of nowhere. It was like, yes, he was great, but it was like he was just a darling last year when it came to fantasy. Now, could he have a slump? Could he contend? I know we all kind of like the betting Washington for a Super Bowl winning team this year. So it's certainly possible. Now, speaking of that, I don't know if I'm really that high on Deebo Samuel on that offense because I still think it's kind of Terry McLaurin's team right there. So, I mean, maybe he might just be more just kind of like a supplement that maybe he could kind of go down a couple more rounds and you'd still be fine with Deebo Samuel. But if you want to play the hype game like you have, like maybe anyone has been in the last couple of years with Aaron Rodgers and think that he's going to go to Pittsburgh, I mean, who's going to throw to? Okay, maybe DK Metcalf. I mean, that could be his number one guy. He could just be saying, well, this is my last year and I'm just going to keep chucking it out there and play like Jameis Williams and have like 40 touchdowns and 40 interceptions. Who knows? But if he's going to catch touchdowns, who cares? And he's going to get you your points. So, I mean, that could be a consideration if you're thinking of DK Metcalf down there. Sam Laporta didn't seem like himself last year, so I could see him having certainly a bounce back year. So I could see that kind of being a steal in this spot. Courtland Sutton as well, where he was almost kind of playing like a who was that Saints receiver a while back that
Marquise Colston?
No, not Colston. Who was the other one that just was having a year?
Chris Olave.
Who was it?
What era?
What's that?
What era? I mean,
he played with Sean Payton, or it was coached by Sean Payton.
Michael Thomas.
Yes, there we go. He could be the Michael Thomas on that team.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
I
think so too. I expect them to add a receiver early, but yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Sutton gets such a big target share. I think that's it's a good spot for him. Rashee Rice, I don't like if you tell me he's not going to be suspended, I love him there at 501, but I don't know if they're going to suspend him or not. Just based on what happened the year before, he didn't get suspended for 2024. So we'll see.
Could this be the year that the Chiefs don't make the playoffs?
That's what people keep telling me. I don't know. I'm still a big Chiefs fan. Not a fan, but like they're a fan of their expectations. I think they're going to do well. I've had some bonus bets that I put on the Chiefs. I've also put money on the Bills and the Redskins and the Rams and the Vikings. But in the AFC, it's been Chiefs and Bills for me. I still believe in them. I get why people are down on them because they had so many bogus wins last year. But it seems like, they have found maybe their left tackle in Jalen Moore, and so that's going to be an issue that's resolved. I know they traded Joe Thuney, but this draft is really good at guard, and so they can get a good guard at 31. He may not be as good as Thuney, but still, like there's going to be a chance that he's decent. And they have drafted good interior linemen, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, like they've had success there. So they could try Kingsley Suamataia at guard as well. I know he was terrible at tackle, but they could try him at guard and see how he does.
Could you say that their floor, like their ceiling is still there, but maybe their floor kind of, maybe their variance kind of got a little bit higher now with just kind of what we saw last year, and especially getting just blown out in the Super Bowl?
My thinking is like, I think their floor is super high because like their roster last year was not very good, and yet they still went to the Super Bowl. And there's a chance that they're going to be better this year because of Jalen Moore and because of, if they draft a good guard at 31 and because Rashee Rice is going to be potentially available all year and Xavier Worthy is going to have experience now. Like he struggled to start the year and then he kind of caught fire toward the end. So you're going to have like Worthy and Rice together. It's pretty decent 1-2 punch. Marquise Brown was also out for most of the season. He's back. You have Travis Kelce, unfortunately, is a year older, but so he might decline. But still, like, I think as long as they have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, like, I think their floor is super high because remember, this team always made the playoffs with Alex Smith and with Andy Reid. And like, I don't need to tell anyone that Mahomes is like a million times better than Alex Smith. So as long as Mahomes is healthy and Andy Reid's able to coach, I think this team is going to win 11 plus games and make the playoffs and be able to do some damage in the playoffs. I don't know if they're necessarily going to go to the Super Bowl, but I'd be shocked if they miss the playoffs.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, you're definitely not alone in thinking that they're going to decline. I've heard it so many times. Tom, our guest on Saturday, thinks that they're going to miss playoffs too. I've heard it from a lot of people. Um, Justice Overreaction says Super Bowl Mahomes is probably the MVP this year. I think that's a good bet. I don't know what the odds are. I guess we could check right now before we move on to round 6.
Unless you see like Jalen Daniels kind of taking it, because like Jalen
Yeah.
Daniels, okay, he got the rookie. Now it's like, okay, well, he got that. Now he is striving for the MVP. So I could see that. I could see that example.
Yeah, I like that. I like Jalen Daniels 9-1. Mahomes is 8-1. Seems okay. You could probably find better
Like
odds.
Justin Herbert there, right there at 18 at plus 1800.
I think someone recommended Herbert 18-1 on Saturday. Might have been Tom as well. We had a suggestion for JJ McCarthy at 100-1 because the Vikings roster is so good. If the Vikings had the best record in the NFL, like McCarthy's definitely going to get some consideration. I think the boss suggested that on yesterday, I think actually. So McCarthy 101. Someone said Stafford 40-1. I know you just said that Stafford could decline, but I mean he's got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, great offensive line. Tyler Higbee's going to be healthy. They have Kyron Williams in the backfield. They have Sean McVay coaching them. Like that offense is going to be a juggernaut if everyone stays healthy. And so Stafford, I think at 40-1 seems like an amazing value, despite the downside.
I like Trevor Lawrence there too, actually, especially with the coaching change.
Or a 35-1. Yeah. I mean, I like Liam Cohen. I think that's definitely going to be an upgrade for Lawrence. Yeah, they lost Christian Kirk, but I think they could still be in good shape. I thought that they would. I thought they would sign Chris Godwin. I thought that Godwin would maybe follow Liam Cohen to Jacksonville, but they didn't really get anyone to replace Christian Kirk yet. So maybe they draft Travis Hunter at number 5 if he falls to them. That could help. But the only receiver they signed is De'Ami Brown, who's he's okay, but he's not a number 2. He's more of a 3-4, probably number 4. So I mean, they have Brian Thomas Jr. as a monster, but they don't have anyone else at receiver right now except for De'Ami Brown. And they also lost Evan Ingram, so they have to find some weapons for Lawrence. If they do, then I think I'm right there with you. But they have to find him some weapons for him to get there. All right, let's go to round 6. And John says James Conner's too low. He's always too low. Like I always feel like James Conner always goes way too low. So starting at 601. We scroll down. 601, James Conner. 602, Mahomes. We talked about him. 603, Chris Olave. 604, Najee Harris. Now with the Chargers. 605, Jordan Addison. 606, Jalen Waddle. 607, Jawan Jennings. 608, Travion Henderson, the rookie running back. 609, Baker Mayfield. 610, Jerry Jeudy. 611, Cooper Kupp. That's way too high. 612, Aaron Jones. I definitely faded Cooper Kupp. He was so decrepit last year. He barely played in the one playoff game. And I've said this a million times, but he wasn't on the field to start the game because it was a blowout eventually. Another rookie is going too high, Travion Henderson. You have no idea where he's going to play. Like I get the upside, but like I think Raiders in the second round might make sense, but are they going to give him the ball like right away? I just don't really see that happening. Everyone else kind of makes sense. I do agree with John saying James Conner is going too late. Definitely.
I agree.
So what do you think about the 6th round?
Yeah, James Conner is kind of like that one running back where it's just like you almost feel like you can just like guarantee yourself with like 12 points each week with them. And it's just like, okay, if you want that, it's like kind of seems like it's way too low there. So I mean, like if you want like someone that's going to guarantee you volume, I feel like that's way too low, especially for if people want to shift and start playing more or start drafting more running backs instead of wide receivers. I mean, like that's a steal down there. I actually think, where was it here? I think Juwan Jennings actually might be a wide receiver 1 actually at San Francisco. So that seems like a steal down here too. Because when he's on the field, I mean, he's ready to show that he is ready to be the wide receiver 1 on that team. So this could be his year. Waddle, for me, I mean, someone told me this a couple of years ago, and I really do believe it that Waddle is kind of in a pyramid scheme at Miami. It's just,
I like that.
Yeah, it's just sure he may have a couple like a good week or two, but I mean, like I just feel like he's just like, what is he doing? Like, it's almost like people always like, for instance, like on DFS, people always want to keep playing him. It's like, okay, I'll just fade him and then just hope watch him get like 3 points, and I'm fine with that. But then, then if he beats me, he beats me, sort of that team. So I mean, I'm just going to keep considering him in a pyramid scheme. Let's see here. I think Addison can maybe break out a little bit there too. But again, I'm still kind of bearish on McCarthy. We all know his injury. I'm still getting this kind of feeling that people have this huge hype because he's a national championship winning quarterback. Okay, well, sure. Okay, what has he done? He hasn't done anything yet. He's shown some preseason, but I mean, we don't know what he's going to look like after his injury. So I mean, prove it to me. So that kind of makes me kind of think like, well, if I'm going to look at it that way, I'm just going to kind of stick with Justin Jefferson and then maybe like if I want to do like a later round best ball, then maybe Addison could be the guy then. But I totally agree with you also with Cooper Kupp. Seems way too high. I'm so glad he didn't go to the Packers. That would have been a disaster because I don't even think he's a wide receiver 1 anymore.
No, I don't think he's a receiver 3. I think at this point in his career, he looks so decrepit at the end of last year. I don't know what he's doing here in the 6th round. I agree with you on Addison and Waddle too. I mean, if Miami had a better offensive line, I could agree with the boss here. It says Waddle's great value. The problem is that they don't have the blocking to get the ball to Waddle downfield anymore. And like Tyreek Hill had a down year, Waddle had a down year, Achane had down year as a runner, not as a receiver. And it was because they lost all those offensive linemen. And they really haven't done anything to replace those guys. And so I think we might see more of the same. Well, they did sign James Daniels, who is he's coming off an injury season, but I mean he is a really great player. But outside of that, they haven't done anything. Armstead at left tackle is great, but he's always hurt. Austin Jackson, right tackle, he's okay, always hurt. Their center Aaron Brewer is not that good. Liam Eichenberg, terrible left guard. Like this offensive line is awful. And outside of Daniels, they haven't signed anyone. So I'm not very bullish on the Miami guys unless like they draft some linemen and I like what they do in the draft. So again, like we don't know what's going to happen yet. This ends at the NFL draft. So everyone will think that Miami has a bad offensive line. So I just don't want to want to trust them. So Brandon says really worth it to them to extend Robert Hunt apparently. Or wasn't worth it. Yeah. That was a big mistake for sure. All right.
Aaron Jones could also be maybe a little bit of a steal too. Cause like if I'm a little bit bearish on McCarthy, I mean, maybe they run a little bit more and maybe we finally see a healthy season for Aaron Jones there too. So, I mean, that could be a consideration too, as kind of a sleeper or a deep sleeper in that case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so too. I do like the McCarthy situation. I'm with you though. Like I wasn't a fan of McCarthy coming out, but at the same time, Kevin O'Connell is just an offensive guru with the quarterbacks. Yep. We saw what he did with Sam Darnold last year. I feel like he could do something similar with McCarthy, and that team is so stacked. Like the offensive line is great, top 5 in the NFL easily. Two great receivers, one an All-Pro, one a Pro Bowler. They have a good running game, and they have T.J. Hawkinson as well. So it feels like the only thing they're missing on offense is just receiver depth, which they could add in the draft. I love this team this year. And Viking fans are like they're probably shocked because I always dog their team. But like this year, I'm a big fan of what they're doing, and if they have the best record, I think McCarthy could get the MVP as I talked about before. John says, go ahead. John says Kupp's contract details finally came out. He's only getting $17.5 million guaranteed. Only it's like move the decimal point over, and then we'll agree with like what he should get. That's a lot for Cooper Kupp, man. He's kind of. I keep saying decrepit. I mean, he was awful last year. It was just truly awful. He had 3 good games, and that was it.
And just to reiterate what you were saying too on the Vikings, like I'm a Packer fan. However, I said it last year. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again this year. I would not be shocked at all if the Packers are the worst in the division. Will not be shocked. And unless they figure out like what Josh Jacobs has said, we need a wide receiver 1. If they don't figure that out, I agree with them. I mean, where are they going with this? They're just good.
Mhm.
They're just kind of like what you have mentioned too about the Steelers. I mean, they just seem comfortable getting to the playoffs and that's it. Well, that's not a winning. That's not a winning scenario for them.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, that division's loaded. I do think the Vikings I should be the favorites. I know they're not the favorites, but I think they should be the favorites because the Lions lost two coordinators. Just don't know how the new guys are going to do. We don't know if Caleb Williams is going to improve. We have to think that he will because the offensive line is so much better and they have Ben Johnson. But like, what if Caleb Williams just sucks? You know, like that is a possibility too.
Yep.
So I don't think it's like guaranteed that the Packers can be last. Like I think like it's Vikings and then like the other three teams kind of grouped together in some way. So like no order in that division would surprise me, except if like Minnesota's last, unless they have a lot of injuries or something. So.
Yep.
All right, let's go seventh round. 701s, Khalil Shakir, 702, Travis Kelce, 703, George Pickens, 704, Ricky Pearsall, 705, Jared Goff, 706, Jacoby Myers, 707, Quinshon Judkins, rookie, 708, TJ Hawkins, and 709, Tyron Tracy, 710, Jaden Reed, 711, Bo Nix, 712, Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is coming off for torn ACL. I don't know what he's doing in the seventh round there. He may not even play until the midseason, so that's a big mistake for him to be there. Bo Nix in the seventh round, that's kind of insane, I think. Like, I mean, he did show something last year, but man, I don't know. Seventh round for Bo Nix seems nuts. Quinshon Judkins, I'm kind of surprised he's behind Travion Henderson because I think he's going to be drafted before Henderson. Whereas, like, I feel like this is like the first rookie where I'm like, okay, I could see it. I would still rather have the veterans, but yeah, I don't hate the rookie in this instance. Everything else kind of makes sense. What do you think about the seventh round?
I feel like casuals are going to look at the sticker shock of Travis Kelce way down there and like, what the hell is he doing down there?
Yeah.
Because he was going mid first round last year, and now he's way down here. They're going to see that down there and just scoop him up immediately. It's just all the casuals are going to do because it happens every single time. You're always going to have a couple casuals in your league, in your draft pool, and they're just going to take people that the last couple of years have played well. I'm like, well, that again, you can't look at what last year happened and then expect the same that's going to happen again this year. I mean, it could, but I mean, he could turn it around. Maybe he just has this farewell, but I mean, you could also see that he could be tight end too on that team too. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden Reed out there, he's not a wide receiver one. I mean, okay, I get it. You're not going to have Christian Watson. So, I mean, that's one less wide receiver. But again, Jaden Reed, he's a wide receiver 2, maybe 3 on that team still. I mean, a lot of talent, but he hasn't shown up to be a wide receiver 1 on that team. So we'll see. Hawkinson, I think, is another kind of same case with Laporta as well. I mean, came back from injury. He did fine, but I mean, you could turn it around this year now, having an actual like full year. I could see it being like he could be a diamond in the rough. Pearsall, I mean, you could be your wide receiver 2 again if Ayuk does nothing again. I mean, you got 2 San Francisco wide receivers sitting there. It just seems very, very strange what they want to do or who's going to show up on that team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think people remember Jaden Reed's great game against the Eagles last year, and like that caused him. So I don't know if you're aware about this, but best ball they have like starting week 2, they like week 2 onward, and then like week 3, they week 3 onward, etc.
Yeah.
And it kind of is like once you get to the bye weeks, you don't want to draft the guys who haven't had their bye yet. Like the guys who have had their bye already, like are such a premium because you're not going to have any missed weeks with them. But like after that, like I think like Jaden Reed was going around this area in the preseason last year. After week 1, in the week 2 onward, Jaden Reed was going second round. Just like these overreactions. What's his name? Isaiah Likely was going 4th round in week 2 onward. It's insane that like if you just fade the overreactions, you could do so well. I did so well in those week 2 onward drafts because I
was at that Packer Vikings game, that early Packer Vikings game too, when Christian Watson got hurt, and then every single wide receiver just went off in that game, and it was like the stock on everything that next week. Everyone was like, oh, I got to pick him. He's good. The Packers are the next big thing. And it's like, well, then it kind of came back down to earth, except for their tight end. So
yeah,
Tucker Kraft,
we haven't seen yet, but sure we will soon. All right, so let's get to the 8th round. 801 Calvin Ridley, 802 Jalen Warren, 803 Mark Andrews, 804 John Smith, 805 Tony Pollard, 806 Kyler Murray, 807 Caleb Williams, 808 Brian Robinson Jr., 809. So we have a bunch of rookies here. 809 Travis Hunter, 810 Emeka Egbuka, 811 Caleb Johnson, and 812 we have Golden here from Texas. A lot of rookies there. I don't 8th round seems like, except for, I mean, it's so weird. I just don't know where to put Hunter.
He might not even play offense.
Right. It's like it's such a tough handicap for fantasy. I just don't know what to do with him until we see the team draft him, like how they use him. So I don't know what to do about that. I think the other rookies are too early. I mean, as good as like Matthew Golden and Buka, they're good receivers, but you just don't know where they're going to go. Caleb Johnson is a good running back, but again, like, I don't know. It just seems like way too early. I'd rather have a Tony Pollard or something. As far as the other, Jalen Warren, 8th round seems like way too early because Najee Harris is gone. I suspect they're going to draft a running back early, but again, like these rookies don't necessarily start right away. And so I think Jalen Warren will be the starter for the first time in his career, because Najee Harris has never missed a game. So I think Warren is going way too late. So what are your thoughts here in the 8th round?
I actually really like Calvin Ridley for, a little bit of the galaxy brain, but I'm still not convinced that I'm still not fully convinced that Rodgers will go to Pittsburgh. I think there's still an actual chance that he goes to Tennessee. And if Rodgers goes to Tennessee, I could see Ridley actually kind of being a fantasy darling. I mean, we saw signs of Ridley last year on some games. And I mean, if you get a better quarterback on that team, I could see it, but I mean, they still have some offensive line issues.
Yeah, I do think Ridley is worth considering there for sure. Like, even if it's Cam Ward, we saw him have some really good games with Will Levis last year. And so, like, 8th round seems late for Ridley as well. I just think that, like, no one wants anything to do with the Titans, but the Titans, they did improve their offensive line, a little bit at least. I know they signed they signed Dan Moore away from Pittsburgh, and they signed Kevin Zeitler away from Detroit. Mm-hmm. So not that Dan Moore is great or anything, but he's still better than what they had last year. And Zeitler is old, but he was still good last year. So potential there for the offensive line to do better. So I do like your Ridley suggestion there for sure.
I like John's comment here with Neighbors, Hunter, and Russell Wilson, but it makes me think of the current thing that's going around on social media right now with it, because I saw with people putting their face in like ice water or something like that in the mornings, and I just remember a meme of that of Russell Wilson said, "Let Russ cook," and it's a piece of bread with ice on top of it, and it makes me think of Russell Wilson dipping his face into ice water right now. I'm like, let's ride.
That's fun. Yeah. I saw rankings of NFC East quarterbacks, and I think it was like one of those stupid engagement farming accounts or whatever. So I didn't respond to it, but I almost did. And they were like, Jaden Daniels 1, Dak Prescott 2, Jalen Hurts 3, Russell Wilson 4, Jameis Winston 5. And I almost quote tweeted. I'm like, I would rather have Tanner McKee than Russell Wilson. It's like I'd rather have Jameis Winston than Russell Wilson. Like Russell Wilson's awful. So I don't know. I hate those accounts. So I don't know if I want to engage with them. But it's so terrible. Anyway, let's get to the 9th round here. Starting at 901, Brock Purdy, 902, Isaiah Pacheco, 903, David Njoku, 904, Ramondre Stevenson, 905, Jalen McMillan, 906, Josh Downs, 907, Justin Herbert, 908, Justin Fields, 909, Tyler Warren, rookie tight end, 910, Luther Burden. Interesting, he's gone later than those other guys. 911, Travis Etienne, 912, Michael Pittman Jr., So both Colts receivers here in the 9th round. Interesting. Um, with Daniel Jones, they're going to be better, I think, than with Richardson, just because Richardson's such a mess. Luther Bird in 9th round's okay. I guess I'm higher on him than the others because I thought there's a better chance he goes in the 1st round than some of the other receivers we've seen. Tyler Warren could have a really good year, but again, rookie tight end. I just don't know if I trust it, despite how good Bowers was last year. It's still like he's not going to be Brock Bowers, so. I feel like people are going to be suspecting that he will be Brock Bowers light or something, but I don't know. I wouldn't take him in the 9th round. I wouldn't take like any of these rookies. Outside of that, I think everything else makes sense. McMillan would be much higher if it wasn't for Godwin resigning. Travis Etienne, I don't like at all. I think he sucks. I'd rather have the other running back they have. So, what are your thoughts here in the 9th round?
I even think Pacheco might actually be a little bit higher because they just re-signed Kareem Hunt.
And they also added Elijah Mitchell too.
Yeah, so I mean, like if they are loading up again on their running backs, or just kind of giving them like another like a 1 year prove it, because I mean Kareem Hunt when he came out swinging. So I mean maybe he's still actually the running back one. And I mean we've seen Kansas City shift their running backs many times, and people were shocked. And I think Andy Reid is just kind of looking like, hey, if you're not going to produce, either step back in line or leave, sort of thing. So maybe that's kind of the case here with Pacheco. Maybe he might be running back 3 on that team, so that could even be a little bit high. Man, I kind of wish we had Nuggets on here to talk about Stevenson a little bit. But I mean, you've got some changes with New England. I mean, I like the coaching change. So I mean, maybe they become more of a running team again. But who knows? Maybe they'll get Travis Hunter and they'll want to decide what they want to do. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I could see them running a little bit more. So I could see maybe with Stevenson being a little bit underdrafted, but then again, that offensive line is just terrible. So they need a lot of help there.
Yeah, it is awful. I suspect they're going to draft a left tackle at number 4.
Yeah.
Their left tackle right now is Vidarian Lowe.
I guess my favorite in this area probably would still be Herbert, just because I said he could have an MVP year. So I mean that seems way too low for someone that could have potential for MVP. But
yeah. What do you think about Fields in the 9th? That's because I was drafting him in the 16th last year, so it feels like too expensive for my taste.
I know my neighbor who's a Bears fan was a big Justin Fields truther. And so I feel for him, but I mean, if you're going anywhere, don't go to the Jets. So, I mean, I feel like that just kind of buried his career a little bit, but it is what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like he had any other options, but I mean, right. I do get what you're saying. All right. So round 10, we have 10:01 Christian Kirk, 10:02 Jordan Love, 10:03 Stephon Diggs, who just signed with the Patriots, 10:04 Zach Charbonnet, 10:05 Rashid Shaheed, 10:06 Evan Ingram, 10:07 CJ Stroud, 10:08 Darnell Mooney, 10:09 Dallas Goedert, 10:10 we have Cam Scatterbo, 10:11 DeAndre Swift, and 10:12 Dak Prescott. Kind of interested to hear your thoughts on Love. I suspect Diggs will go higher because I guess his ADP hasn't quite adjusted because he signed yesterday. So I suspect he's going to rise quite a few rounds. So with that in mind, what'd you say?
I still won't draft him.
No, yeah, me neither. If he was 10th round, I don't know. He's coming off the 20 ACL. I think that's still too high in the 10th round, but I could at least entertain the possibility. But if he goes a 7th round, then that's way too high. Outside of this, I mean, everything seems to make sense. Goddard, by the way, should be traded at some point. So it depends where he goes. He could be a good value, or he could just fall off depending which offense he goes to.
I love Goddard as a player, but it just kind of sucks that he's going to get probably traded.
Yeah, for sure. Rashid Shaheed was great to start last year, and then he got hurt. So maybe value there. Take it away. What do you think about the 10th round?
I honestly feel like Raheed Shaheed there is actually probably your highest ceiling player for everyone there. But I mean, Denver is kind of a tight. Denver has been kind of looking for a tight end for a while. So I mean, Evan Ingram could probably figure it out there. I mean, it always seems to be like a tight end that kind of come out of nowhere out of Denver. So maybe that's all they needed at that point. Dak Prescott, I guess we'll see coming back from an injury. I mean, he's your quarterback down there, but I mean, so is CJ Stroud. When are we going to see a slump from CJ Stroud as well? So I mean, in this round, I mean, if I had a choice, probably still Shaheed there.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to round 11. So we start with 1101 Marvin Mims, 1102 Rashad Bateman, 1103 Drake May, 1104 Isaiah Likely, 1105 Tucker Kraft, 1106 Marquise Brown, 1107 Dalton Kincaid, 1108 Michael Penix Jr., 1109 Tank Bigsby, 1110 Adam Thielen, 1111 Jordan Mason, 1112 Matthew Stafford. Man, if you're getting these quarterbacks in the 11th round, especially Drake May, who has such high upside because of his scrambling ability, or Matthew Stafford, who could have a monster year because of that great offense. Like, I see no reason to go quarterback early if you can get these guys here. Now, it is best ball, so you should draft 3 quarterbacks. You should draft at least 3 of each position. 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. I like to go with the Ellie route. Just reverse the 7. So 3-7-7-3. So 3 quarterbacks, 7 running backs, 7 receivers, and then 3 tight ends. I think that's the way to go because, and you got to make sure that your quarterbacks and tight ends don't have the same bye weeks because like you need to make sure that you at least have one option like when you hit the byes because there can always be an injury. Like if there's a week where one of your quarterbacks has a bye and the other quarterback's injured, like at least you have the third guy. So I always like to make sure I have at least 3 of each position. But if I can go like Drake May round 10, Matthew Stafford round 11 with like my 2 quarterbacks, and then like we'll see who else is available later. That could allow you to load up on running backs, receivers, and tight ends early. So I think this is where the value is. Kind of interested to see where the value came in. I think the value is here with the quarterbacks in round 11. And I do like the tight ends. I mean, Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid's coming off a down year, but he was playing with a PCL injury. So he should bounce back. Likely could see more of a, target share if I don't know, Mark Andrews is still there, but Andrews is getting up there in age. So likely could see more of a workload. So I think this is where the value is, quarterbacks, tight ends in this range. So what do you think?
I mean, my favorite in this range, right off the bat, I don't even have to think about it, is Tucker Kraft. But I also do want to touch on the fact of people in best ball like to play the strategy of stacking teams. And I mean, we're seeing, other than Josh Jacobs, I mean, you could make a Packers team with all these low rounds. So you can just go make a decision for what you want to do early on, and then now you can start picking up all these Pack players too. I mean, you got your Tucker Kraft late, you got your Jordan Love late, you got your Jaden Reed late. So I mean, you could kind of load up on a Packers team there if you really want to as well. So I could see that being a strategy, and even maybe where we're seeing Tucker Kraft right here, that could actually be pretty low for him. So you maybe even see, I get the idea as well with like Penix Jr. as well, because I mean, he's got rushing upside as well. You just don't know, like, they're kind of going all in now with Penix now with no more Kirk Cousins, but well, I mean, Kirk Cousins is still there, but I actually like Jordan Mason right there too as a backup, as a kind of a handcuff to Aaron Jones. Like if you don't feel like that Aaron Jones is going to have a full season, I mean, now you got a quality backup there as well that I would definitely trust Jordan Mason on that offense. If you want the corpse of Thielen to get you that random 30, 40-point game, I mean, it seems to be the case in the last couple of years. Like Carolina, they just don't care. And Thielen had a big game, won you that week, and that's about it. So
yep, he hits like 3 or 4 of them each year at this point of his career. John Sanders with the 411 super chat. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
John says Homer take, but Kincaid had a terrible injury in 2024. Yeah, he did. I mean, so I think that's the reason why he didn't succeed. So I think there's a good chance he rebounds. And this is such a discount of where he was going last year. I believe he was going like 6th round last year, 7th round or so. Now he's going 11th round. So I agree. I think that he's good value. Like I said, I love the quarterbacks and tight ends here. So seeing this, I am more likely to just like pass on the quarterbacks and tight ends early, unless like I get a great value.
Wasn't it Kincaid's brother, or was that someone else that like passed away, or was it Kincaid, or was the other tight end that had someone that like passed away, and it was like, or like someone that was sick and was trying to have a career year, and he just got hit, and then maybe it was Kincaid, and then he got hurt, and he was like trying to make it like a year to remember for like his friend or brother or relative or something like that, and just didn't happen. Knox. Okay, yes, Knox.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. Okay. Dawson Knox's brother died. Okay. That story's vaguely familiar. I do remember. I just didn't know who it was. But yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But never want to see that happen. But yeah, it was Knox. Now that you mentioned it, it is coming back to me. Yeah. Well, it's just this awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to round 12. We have 1201 Tua Tagovailoa, 1202 Keon Coleman, 1203 J.K. Dobbins, who's still unsigned, 1204 J.J. McCarthy, 1205 Kyle Pitts, 1206 Colston Loveland, 1207 Keenan Allen, also unsigned, 1208 we have Javonte Williams, 1209 Quentin Johnston, 1210 Trevor Lawrence, as you mentioned him before. 12-11, you have Tootin, a rookie running back, and then 12-12, Zach Ertz. It's got ugly quickly.
I like Zach Ertz down there, but
yeah, I do too. Although the Redskins could draft a tight end, but I do think that Ertz should still have like one decent year.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing like super exciting here. A bunch of free agents, so I guess that kind of like tells you this is where the value drops off.
Kind of also tells you you can easily build a Minnesota stack as well too, because if you get Justin Jefferson, then you can go later on and get Addison, and you'll go way late, get McCarthy. I mean, kind of shows and kind of getting that mindset of like if you're going for like a team stack. I mean, it's certainly possible with where the ADP is currently sitting at right there.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that it is a good idea to stack because you want the upside. I don't think you should go like out of your way to stack. Like if you're passing on better players just to stack.
Just naturally do it is the best.
Right. If there's like a tiebreaker, if it's close, then yeah, try to stack, or like if you do get Jefferson, as you said, and like just have in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, a 12th round. Let me get McCarthy, or maybe like 11th round, but like don't be like, okay, I got to get McCarthy 8th round. I'm taking him. Like that's a mistake. Just like you said, let it come naturally to you. But yeah, anything else here? I think we can move on. There's nothing here that excites me.
Yeah, I mentioned Trevor Lawrence maybe as like an MVP, but that's kind of about it. There's just not a lot out there. Yeah, and then Dobbins still as a free agent. I mean, who knows where he's going to go?
Yeah. Kyle Pitts is the biggest enigma of this decade. It is, it is like fascinating what happened to him. I mean, he had 1,000 yards his rookie year, and just like last year he had like 3 or 4 like monster games, and then he did nothing in the other games. Like not even like 2 catches. It was like 0, like 1 catch for 3 yards. It's like, what is this guy doing? I don't get it. I like we thought maybe it was Arthur Smith, but it was not apparently. Anyway, let's get to round 13 here. So we have we start with Rashad White, 1301, 1302, Rico Doodle, as we call him on here, 1303, Romeo Doubs, 1304, we have Ferguson from Dallas, 1305, Tajay Spears, 1306, Sam Darnold, 1307, Bryce Young, 1308, Xavier Legette, 1309, Cam Ward. It's interesting. I was kind of wondering where'd he go. 1310, Trey Benson, 1311, Trey Harris, 1312, Geno Smith. I hated where most of the rookies have went, but the 13th round for Cam Ward seems pretty amazing because he can run around and maybe he struggles as a passer, but he's going to get the rushing yards. So I definitely have interest here. Again, another quarterback with value. You mentioned Lawrence in the last round. We have Ward here. Not as interested in Darnold or Bryce Young though. As far as the other players, nothing really stands out. So like once again, it's the quarterbacks who really like carry the banner here in the double digit round. So what do you think here?
It's kind of one of those, who you want to pick, Bryce Young or Cam Ward here? I mean,
Right.
it's just like, But like, I guess like rookie quarterbacks, either they're going to just be a huge stinker, or they're just going to just keep chucking the ball and hope to see what happens. I guess in the league, if something's not clicking. I mean, we've seen that time and time. So I guess if you want to see if maybe like Cam Ward gets like, if he's on a struggling team and then just has a couple big games, I mean that could help you. I mean, if you want the closest that you could probably get currently for a wide receiver one in the Packers, you got Romeo Doubs down here too. So other than that, it's just kind of a bucket of yuck. But I guess Sam Darnold. I mean, we saw what he could do with what he could do with the Vikings. Can he do the same with Seattle? I guess we'll find out. But I mean, he's been a reliable low quarterback one, very good backup quarterback. So I mean, kind of where I was kind of saying with James Conner. I mean, like if you're gonna want kind of consistency, you're probably gonna get that with Sam Darnold as a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. This Sam Darnold is not. It's not like a package deal where you also get Justin Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson. Like you do have Jackson Smith and Jigba there, but like this Sam Darnold's not coming with like I don't know. It's like one of those toys you used to get for Christmas when I was a kid, and like you wanted like all the accessories, well you just get like the bland version that doesn't have it. It's like I got this, I got what I wanted, but not really, you know. So yeah, I mean I'd much rather have Cam Ward here than the other quarterbacks. Jake Ferguson's fine, another tight end you can get late's fine. He got injured last year, so maybe he bounces back, but you know. I think again, like it's the quarterbacks and tight ends who just really stand out here. All right, round 14, we have 1401 Jerome Ford, 1402 Isaac Garendo, 1403 Kate Otten, 1404 Anthony Richardson, 1405 Mike Gesicki, 1406 DeAndre Hopkins, 1407 Ray Davis, 1408 Alec Pierce, 1409 Jaden Higgins, rookie, 1410 Kareem Hunt, 1411 Pat Frymouth, 1412 Devin Neal. I don't like Anthony Richardson, but I think he has to be considered here in the 14th round because if he starts, you could always have some big fantasy performances, and you're just looking for those spike weeks from your quarterback. So, you know, if Richardson was going like 7th round like he was last year, like zero interest for me. But 14th round, like I'd be interested. Isaac Garendo, 14th round, like we don't have no idea if Christian McCaffrey's gonna be healthy. Elijah Mitchell's gone, Jordan Mason's gone. Like Garendo seems like an amazing player. You should probably target like this guy. There are certain guys last year that like I always targeted. Now, unfortunately, it never panned out. Like I would always try to get like all the RB2s, like the Tyler Algiers. You know, like if Bijan went down, like Algier would suddenly have like 3rd round value or something. And I always got him in like the 14th round. Unfortunately, Bijan never got hurt. But you know, it would have paid off if that did happen. And like Garendo, like if McCaffrey can't play, like Garendo, like if it was announced that McCaffrey is out for the year, Garendo would go in like the 3rd round here, right? Or maybe even 2nd. So I think that Garendo should be like someone you definitely target here. So yeah, I mean that is far and away my favorite player here. Like what do you think?
Typically in these late rounds, I like to go after tight ends or backup quarterbacks because you never know about injuries. So, I mean, right, the one that's sticking out right there is Gesicki. I mean, he really showed up last year with the Bengals. And I mean, like, they seem to really like him. But they also have, who's that other tight end that that the Bengals had?
Tanner Hudson.
What's that?
Tanner Hudson?
No, the other one. The third
They look a million tight ends. Was it, hold on. Eric All.
Yes, yeah, they really like him, and I mean, when he would come out, like sometimes you could just like play him in DFS and get like 4 points out of him. And they're like, fine, I'll get 4 points from in price and I'd be happy with that. And I mean, it's kind of like one of those where it's just like, all right, well, Gesicki's kind of coming out of nowhere. Gesicki, I mean, they really like him. They seem to really like him at the Bengals, but I mean, if you really want a dumpster dive, you can go for Eric Hall. But Fryermuth actually down here too. I mean, if Rogers goes to Pittsburgh, I mean, he's going to target your tight ends. He always loves tight ends. So, I mean, and Fryermuth is definitely a part of the offense at Pittsburgh. So, I mean, he can't go unnoticed there. But everything else is just kind of, we'll see.
Yes, I agree. I like the tight ends, as you said, Gesicki and Fryermuth. One other guy I like here is Alec Pierce, and anyone who doesn't do best ball and hears this,
yes.
it's like,
I remember playing Pierce a lot too.
Yeah, it's like you would never ever want to have Alec Pierce in a regular fantasy football league, but this is best ball, and this is how it's different. Like you want Pierce on your team because like 3 or 4 times a year he has these monster games, and like the other times he does nothing, and so you can't start him in regular fantasy because like you're going to be at high risk for zero. But in best ball, you're going to want those spike weeks from these like high variance guys. And so Alec Pierce is someone else I try to target, and like he had some monster games for me last year. So yeah, he's another one I like down here for sure. Good
call out.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so let's go to round what is this, 15 or yeah, it's a 15. We have 1501 Joshua Palmer now on the Bills, 1502 Nick Chubb, a free agent, 1503 Cole Kmet, 1504 Jalen Wright, 1505 Austin Eckler, 1506 Bretton Strange, 1507 Cedric Tillman, 1508 Wan'Dale Robinson, 1509 Jalen Coker, 1510 is Sampson, rookie running back, 1511 Hunter Henry, and then 1512 Tyler Algier. Algier, I will continue to target him because, like I said, if Bijan goes down, Algier is suddenly third round value, and it's like, who else are you going to get down here? I mean, you could go after Hunter Henry's another late tight end. If he's your third tight end, you're kind of happy about that. Same thing with Brenton Strange. Evan Ingram's gone, so he could be the main tight end. Cole Kmet too. Keenan Allen's gone, so I think Cole Kmet's going to have a major bounce back here. I think Cole Kmet's going like way too low. Just looking at this. Eddie, what else stands out for you here?
I like Wicks down here because I know a guy that he did a prop bet with all these season touchdowns, and it literally came down to Wicks at 5, and then he got it. And I think Wicks got 2 touchdowns that game too, and it was just like, yep, it hit for you. And then he won I think he won like $250,000 based off of it. It was like a preseason. I think it was just $100 bet. Honestly, I think it was a free bet I think it was a free bet that DraftKings gave to him, and I think it was a free $500 bet, and he just risk it all on a huge parlay, and it came down to Wicks. And it just seems like Packers like Wicks on that team. So I mean, I could see it. I mean, if you want to project around like he got 5 or 6 last year, or like his prop last year was 5, I could see maybe like a 6 or a 7 again this year because they seem to like him. Tillman seemed to show up like when there's some injuries. I mean, down here you're looking basically as if someone's injured, who's going to step up. I mean, we saw Strange step up. We saw Tillman step up. Coker was kind of everyone was wanting to play Coker in DFS, and that didn't really pan out. Yeah, Austin Eckler. I mean, he's got usage. I mean, he's older, but I mean, he's certainly got his usage. Do we know what's going to happen with Nick Chubb?
I mean, he looked such a shell of himself last year.
Yeah.
It's a shame that injury. It feels like that may have ruined his career. I hope that's not the case, but it really appears to be that way. So I don't know. Even if he signs somewhere, I just don't really have any faith that he's going to get there.
I like Hunter Henry as well because I mean, if Stephon Diggs doesn't do anything, I mean, Drake May is just going to keep targeting Hunter Henry again. So
yeah, I definitely like Henry. John says, isn't Eric All out for the year? He tore his ACL in early November. So he might be on the PUP list to start the year. But I do think he's going to play at some point in 2025. It's not like running back or receiver where like the torn ACL just really hurts them. Tight end, it's like less so. Like we saw TJ Hawkinson come back just fine last year. It's like the guys who really rely on like speed and cutting. That's where it hurts them the most, I think. Because I'm just, are you streaming a draft tonight, or can you not do that, or does this not draft until the after the real NFL draft? No, actually, it's the opposite. This draft, like this streams up until the NFL draft. At the NFL draft, this league locks, and then a new one will open after the draft. Because like, so they don't want people to like not draft now because they want to wait until after the draft to like know where the rookies went. They want to make sure that no one has that information. So yeah, I could. I mean, it's late. It's already past midnight. We're approaching an hour and a half on here. So, and like the problem with like trying to stream now is that it's like after midnight, so it might take like an hour for the league to go live, the draft to go live. You know, that's an issue. Like drafting late. What I can do is I can live stream a draft tomorrow at like around 10:30. So that I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow night, is just do a draft using the insight that we got tonight to draft tomorrow, because I think we should be able to get a draft loaded like within a reasonable time. But like if we try to like sign up now and like enter now, like we might be here till like 2 a.m. just like waiting for the draft to launch, you know. Just speaking from experience, and really I would say this, like drafting at night is the best time to draft, because I've noticed this. Like sometimes you'll have people just time out randomly. And I think it's because they sign up for the draft and it's like they wait an hour and a half for it to start and they just like fall asleep or something, or they forget about it. And
I have fallen asleep mid-draft before, and when it's late at night. I have been one of those people where I'm just like, and clunk. And it's like, well, I guess at least I got half my draft that I wanted to do.
Yes, yeah, I did the same thing. I've taken advantage of this more often than not, but there was one time where I signed up for a draft. It was like 1 a.m. and I was watching TV. I was working and watching TV, and I just kind of like laid back and I just like zonked out. And I woke up at like 2:30, and I'm like, for like 2 minutes later, I'm like, oh crap, the draft. And so I clicked in, and it was like the 9th round, and so it auto drafted for me like the first 8 rounds, like all drafting all players that didn't want. I'm like, screw this, I'm not even drafting anything here. So it's happened to me, and so you might be thinking, doesn't that just make everyone in that draft better, a little bit better? Yes, it's true. But what happens is like the team or teams that come out, usually it's 2 teams that come out of that league. Those teams tend to be a little bit better than the other teams that come out. So it's just a good way to get an advantage, is to draft late. So that's just something I picked up on.
It also kind of helps you too with like, you start kind of understanding when auto drafting kind of kicks in, so that you kind of get an understanding of, okay, auto draft is going to probably pick this player or this, and then like you're going to get experience down the line of like, okay, I can maybe wait on this player, because if an auto draft happens, it's like, okay, I can probably steal this player like in a couple rounds later or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that happen actually quite frequently when I would be drafting kind of like at a midnight or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Love to see Walt. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. John says it was reported that All is out for the season because he needed 2 different surgeries. Okay, I did not hear that. I'll have to look it up, but I'll
take all the surgeries.
What'd you say?
He had all the surgeries.
Yes, he had all the surgeries. Yes. So no, I have to look it up. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I'll take your word for it, John. I just didn't know that, but yeah, I mean, if that's true, then yeah, Gesicki should definitely get a big bump.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have 5 more rounds to go because it's 20 rounds. So
it's that many rounds.
What'd you say?
I said I forgot it's that many rounds.
Yeah, it's 20 rounds. It gets pretty rough at like round 18, 19, 20.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have like 5 or 6 guys that you just like queue up and you're going to take late. And it's always like a pain in the butt when you're like, all those guys go and it's like 20th round. You're like, oh man, what do I do here? I hate this guy, hate this guy. Don't draft him. It's like, oh man. And then you run out of time and just draft someone random. It's so brutal. Anyway, so 1601, Amari Cooper is a free agent. 1602, Dontavian Wicks, you mentioned him. 1603, Shador Sanders. 1604, Blake Corum, another guy I drafted a lot. This didn't pan out because Kyren Williams didn't get hurt. 1605, Derek Carr. 1606, RJ Harvey. 1607, Tank Dell. 1608, Tyler Higbee. 1609, Raheem Mostert. 1610, Demario Douglas. 1611, DJ Giddens. And 1612, Braylon Allen, another guy I drafted a lot last year. So I'm seeing like, Blake Corum, Braylon Allen. I think those are fine picks because if the guys ahead of them get hurt, then they're going to really pan out. And again, it's like, it's not even like regular fantasy. Like, yeah, you should carry these guys around, but it's hard because you might need starters for your buys. But here, like, you don't have to worry about that. You just keep them on your roster no matter what, because you can't do anything about it. And hopefully, the guys ahead of them do get hurt or just miss time. But again, like, we have some good values here in tight end. Tyler Higbee I like a lot. You mentioned Wicks. You mentioned Wicks. That's a good one because he has that like deep upside that Alec Pierce has. I feel like they're kind of similar. Damari Douglas is okay. It doesn't feel like he has a high ceiling, but like he's pretty dependable. So if you're hurting for depth, if you only have like 4 receivers at this point, like Douglas is fine here. And that's about it. Tank Dell's probably not going to play this year, so I think that's
that might be a career end. That might have been a career ending. I know.
It sucks. It really sucks to have seen that. But yeah, anything else here?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird to say Douglas over Dell, but I mean, if your player isn't on the field, I mean, you're not scoring points. So I actually like Braylon Allen down here. I mean, he was great as a Badger back in college, and I mean, they wanted him on the field at New England, or excuse me, at the Jets. So I mean, I can see him maybe getting more of a role. Maybe they kind of play a 3-man rushing offense with Fields, with Allen, with why can I not think of his name? Who's your other running back with the Jets?
Breece Hall.
Yeah. What if they just do a 3-man monster and just become like a running first team? I mean, I could see it. I mean, you don't see it very often anymore, but I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I like Braylon Allen there. Lofty says Rondale Moore led the NFL in depth per target in 2021 and 2023. Yak leader, super low risk sleeper pick. I haven't like considered him, but I mean, you do make a good case for him there. I do like the Alec Pierce suggestion from you.
Yeah.
And then a crappy QB plus good receiver equals production. Yeah. Exactly. That's true. Cassandra says Jokic predictably went insane. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this, Butters, but my NBA pick for today was the Bucks plus 7.5. Felt like way too high with Jokic out. Now, so I said Jokic. With Jokic out, the Bucks the Nuggets are 13-22 without Jokic the past 4 years. I'm like, why is this line 7.5? I know Giannis is out, but still, it's way too high. And Jokic was doubtful in the morning, so I wrote up the pick. I also bet Gary Trent over 13.5 points or 14. I forget which one. And then at like 3:00, Jokic was upgraded to questionable. I'm like, crap. Like, he's not going to play, is he? He was doubtful this morning. And then they announced Jokic is going to play. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's not going to be 100%. But
no, he doesn't. If he's going to play, he's going to be on the court.
Yeah. So, I mean, I couldn't buy back my bet or anything. Jokic went for 39 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 71 DK points. I did play him in DK.
I did too.
I kind of like hedged that. I got 54th place in the the $40 contest they have. It's like the $40 5 max 5K to first. I finished 54th there. So I did have Jokic. So I wanted to hedge there. So I did get my money back from my bet, but that bet lost by 2.5 points because the Bucks lost by 10. Where they didn't cover the 7.5. And I feel like if Jokic didn't play, they probably would have covered the 7.5, But on the bright side, Gary Trent did get to 16 points, so we won that one at least. But that kind of sucks.
Jokic scoring 100 points in DraftKings, and then he just goes off and is like, whatever.
I know.
It's just like it seems like just unserious, and then he just goes out there and balls out.
Yeah, I had to get my my Jokic so rare lineups in as well. I'm gonna show this very quickly. This is like Rainmakers, but not nearly as good. They have it for basketball. So I was putting my son to bed. It was like 8:45. I was like on my phone, just like trying to jam in these lineups. And I was like, I have to buy someone. I had to buy like Michael Porter Jr. So I put in Jokic here. Actually got 31st place, which only gives like a 3-star box, which is like not even money. Same thing here. Like I got top 9%. I had to jam Jokic in here. It's just like panicking, which is like trying to get them in because I wasn't using them in the money contest where you can actually win money, but the daily contest you can't win money, which I think sucks. Real quick, about Sorare, I wish this was all daily and not like bi or semi-weekly. It annoys me, but I don't know if you ever messed around with Sorare, but I think it's at least it's kind of fun. What'd you say?
I've never tried it.
Well, it's they have a free option too. They have free contests where you could win cards. You can sell those cards. So I think that's good. But if you want to pay up and try to win money, it's like those red cards. The top prize each semi week is I think it's $2,400. So it tends to go up. Like the most rare is like they have $5,000 every semi week. So
do they have MLB, because you're gonna have your MLB starting here?
They do have MLB. So I had a bunch of free cards. I got like Bryce Harper, and I have like 300 credits where you can get free cards with those credits. So I will be getting some of the cards. I was going to make my lineups tonight.
You may want to load up on the Brewers, because they're going to be going, because I mean it's going to be home game and they're going to be for Mr. Baseball as well. So.
Okay. I don't know anything about baseball, so I will take your word for it.
Bob Uecker passed away, so I mean, your first home game for the Brewers. I mean, all the fans are going to be. It's going to be pretty emotional. So the whole team is going to be pretty emotional about that too. So
who was that?
Bob Uecker.
Who's that? I don't know. I don't know anything about baseball. I can't name 5 players.
Oh, he was the announcer for the Brewers, and he's been been on what was it? What movie was he on here again? Was it Leave Its Own? Was that what it was?
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Isn't that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't believe it's on. That was before my time, but
yeah, I said I can't name 5. I could probably name 5 baseball players. I don't think I could name 10 though. That'd be a stretch. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but yeah, Bob Uecker, Major League. Okay, yeah. I mean, apparently you guys know who he is. It's like the John Madden MLB. Yeah, I haven't watched a single baseball game in. It's been almost 2 decades since I watched a single baseball game. The last time I watched baseball was the 08 Phillies, or maybe 09 Phillies. I used to like the Phillies, and then they fired Charlie Manuel, and I was like, screw this. I like Charlie Manuel a lot, and then I just stopped watching baseball altogether. Just haven't watched it at all.
I was a Reds fan growing up when they had Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay, I forgot he was on the Reds. Yeah, I know. I used to love baseball. The '93 Phillies, that was a great team. And then I started watching after that. I used to play DraftKings baseball all the time. I just lost interest in it. Anyway, let's get through the last 4 rounds here. So we started 1701 Aaron Rodgers, 1702 Jalen Tolbert.
Aaron.
Yeah, right.
I like how they actually had to put it that way.
Yeah. 1703 De'Ami Brown, 1704 Dalton Schultz, 1705 Taysom Hill, 1706 Justice Hill, 1707 Isaiah Bond, 1708 Jalen Noel, 1709 Jawan Johnson, 1710 Ollie Gordon, 1711 Mike Williams, 1712 Jameis Winston. Like running back with rookie value is not plentiful here, but Ollie Gordon I think is like a 3rd round pick, so he could see some action. So the 17th round seems like pretty good for him. I think Mike Williams bounces back. So I think 17th round is fine for Williams. He's one of those guys who has a big game here and there and then does nothing. So he's kind of like Alec Pierce in that sense. We talked about him. So I think Mike Williams makes for a decent pick down here. Justice Hill is another one of those handcuff guys that you might want to take, in case Henry goes down. And then outside of that, nothing really stands out. So what do you think?
I mean, wherever you feel like Rodgers goes, I mean, he'll be. I don't think he retires this year. If he's actively looking like he'll play. What you're going to get, I mean, who knows? I still have kind of hope that he's going to have just that one more year. Talks about it like all these other quarterbacks have these Hall of Fame careers when I don't, sort of thing. Well, prove it. But I could see him. We've seen him play these prove it years too. So I don't hate actually Jameis Winston out there, even though he's going to be backup. I don't hate it because, I mean, if you would have had Jameis Winston last year, just as just out of the whim as like your last pick and everything, you probably would have won or at least moved on to a couple rounds just because if you had some injuries. I mean, he just went out there and balled out.
Yeah.
But again, in these rounds, I go after tight ends. I like Johnson down there, but that's probably about it. I know people will probably want Taysom, but it's like, at what point is like the Taysom idea going to get phased out?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Plus, he's coming off the injury, so you just don't know how he's going to do. Sue says some say Walt has to be the big Trenton Thunder fan since his car has often been spotted in their parking lot. Yeah, I would say this: outside of employees who work there, I think I've been the Trenton Thunder baseball stadium more than anyone else in the world. Not for a while, not since last July, but I used to make trips there every single week. It was a good time. Cassandra says, Walt, I asked you on this on Twitter. I was only half joking. Could the Boyle signing suggest maybe a Rodgers to Tennessee? Interesting. Okay, interesting. I didn't make that connection.
He was in Phoenix. Was it Phoenix that he was playing with when he was golfing with the vice president?
Yes. No, there is that connection. I didn't see that, Cassandra. But I think you might be onto something for sure. I said from the beginning I thought Rodgers was going to go to Tennessee, but we didn't hear any news on that, so I kind of just like stopped talking about it. But I did. That is interesting. So I've been to a Thunder home game. Oddly, it's funny. Well, I've been to the stadium so many times. Taysom Hill is done. Yeah, you might be right. Unfortunately, I used to be. He was fun to watch, but he could be done for sure. All right, let's go to round 18 with 3 more to go. 1801, Russell Wilson. 1802, Xavier Restrepo. 1803, Andre Yuskevich. 1804, Damian Martinez. 1805, Alec Ayo Manor. 1806, Christian Watson. 1807,
play.
Yeah, right. Darius Slayton. 1808, Elijah Mitchell. 1809, Jackson Dart. 1810, Nick Westbrook-Akine. 1811, Chigi Bang Bang Okonkwo, and then 1812, Audric Estime. This is where it gets very ugly. Yuskevich is, I think, okay, because if one of the top receivers gets hurt, then we've seen that he could do well. I'm not like crazy about the pick. I think you kind of like hold your nose and take one of these rookies like Martinez or Io Manor. Because nothing else stands out here. I know Westbrook-Akine had 9 touchdowns last year. Like, do we expect that to happen again? If he scores 5 times, I'll be surprised. But yeah, what do you think about this 18th round? Ugly 18th round.
I don't mind Chig. And actually, if you have a team that you feel like, okay, I love this team, but I just need something to maybe just like, I need that one late week to kind of do a push. Maybe a Christian Watson. Like, maybe that's just enough. It's like, okay, he's probably not going to play until, if he comes back, let's say he comes back like week 13 or something. Like, if he's coming back, he's probably playing to make sure that he can re-sign with the team. He's going to go out there and try to ball out as much as he can. So maybe he's got kind of a high ceiling coming back from an injury. But that would probably be my only case for wanting to pick up Watson, because we don't even know if he's going to play this year. I mean, it's just, I mean, I own his jersey, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like there is upside there. So you need to be deep at receiver to draft him there, because you can't count on him to be your 5th receiver. This is the best ball here. You start 3 receivers in a fly. So.
Be that one guy who you think, like, in a playoff picture, if you think your draft is good enough to make a deep dive into the playoffs, like, he could be that one guy that like no one owns, and then he just goes off and he gets you over the hump into like a championship week or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that you should consider. Just I mean, like, high upside guys, like, what if Elijah Mitchell gets the RB2 role over Kareem Hunt? And like maybe that's something worth considering. Like I said, Yuskevich, and also I do agree with your Okonkwo assessment for sure. All right, round 19, two more to go. We have 1901 Harold Fannin Jr., 1902 Jatavian Sanders, 1903 Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1904 Jalen Royals, 1905 Jack Beck, 1906 Adonai Mitchell, 1907 Jalen Munt, 1908 Jordan Whittington, 1909 Daniel Jones, 1910 Brandon Cooks, 1911 Alan Lazard, and then 1912 Juju Smith-Schuster. Some interesting names here. Adonai Mitchell is kind of like Alec Pierce in that he can have some monster games and then just do nothing. But if Daniel Jones takes over, I think that he might be more consistent. The problem is that he's the fourth receiver on the team, so he needs someone to get hurt in front of him. Jordan Whittington, I like as a player. I think that he could get an increased playing time this year. Daniel Jones, I think there's we're talking about Anthony Richardson earlier. I think having one of the Colts on your team is not bad as the third quarterback because whichever one starts, I feel like they have enough there between the offensive line and the receivers to kind of support a decent fantasy performances. And we know Daniel Jones can run pretty well. So if Jones is the starter and if you get him in the 19th round, that could really carry you, if he gets some big performances. Jack Beck, I like as a rookie. I don't mind taking a shot on him. Valdez-Scantling, he had some crazy games last year with the Saints. I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know if he could do that again, but I think that's kind of interesting. So what do you think here in the 19th round? I actually like this round better than the 18th round.
Gun to the head, actually, my pick here would be Johnny Munt.
Okay.
I think maybe, yeah. Well, they don't have Evan Ingram anymore at Jacksonville, so he can make a run for the starting tight end. And when he was with Minnesota, you got a couple touchdowns. Maybe he can prove himself here there at Jacksonville. You never know.
Yeah, interesting. I think Brenton Strange is the one I want. I think he's more athletic upside, but yeah, it could be Munt.
He could be the goal line tight end. If they get to the goal line, he could snag a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Sanchez says about Westbrook Kikini goes a lot earlier in real fantasy dress. I completely agree. People always chase the touchdowns. They always do. And it just never pans out. There's always regression to the mean. I said I'd be surprised if he gets 5 touchdowns. I think the most likely result is probably 3 touchdowns for him this year. John says, any chance the Colts take Sanders if they fall to him? I don't think so. I think they want to get Booker, the Alabama guard, and I think they want to have solidify their offensive line. I don't think they want to chase a quarterback because I think they still think they could get something out of Richardson, even if they're wrong.
I was seeing some people were saying that Sanders was not going to get drafted until round 3. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, I brought this up. I talked to a scout on an NFC team, and I showed him my mock draft, and the only thing he said was get Shedeur Sanders out of the first round. And I was like, all it takes is one team to fall in love with him, One team fell in love with Kenny Pickett and took him at 22. Shedeur Sanders is better than Kenny Pickett. So I think that he will go in the first round, but I do get the sense that there is some negativity with him. But I don't agree with it. I think that he will be a decent quarterback in the NFL.
I think he would be at the lowest would be I think second round would be plausible, but I'd be shocked if he hasn't been picked by the second round.
I would too. I think the Steelers end his fall. If he does fall, I think the Steelers end it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who Hames says Scantling. I like same coordinator brought him along. Yeah, I like Scantling there too. You know Scantling. What do you think about that?
I think he's on borrowed time.
Not a big fan.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Fall to them. Walt, bad news for AMC. As if they need more bad news. Snow White down to a 1.6 on IMDb. Wow. No one is watching that movie. It is.
Oh, well, okay. My wife took my daughter last weekend because my daughter, oh my gosh, my daughter, she's 4 years old. She's like, this is my favorite movie. I want to see it. I'm like, you haven't even seen the original Snow White, and all you've seen is advertisements, and you're like, this is my favorite movie. I'm like, okay, oh boy.
Oh man.
My wife was like, you want to go for a family movie night? I'm like, no.
So wait, what was the review? Did they like it?
Apparently, she liked it. So
What about your wife? What'd she say?
she said it was all right, but I mean, we've seen that. I mean, when you have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, you have to kind of get in the mindset of like, okay, are they gonna like it? Okay, well, yeah, whatever. Like we went to see Wish, and that was okay. I mean, I think we've seen better Disney movies, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Um, did she say anything about how crowded slash like sparse the theater was?
She said it was actually pretty popular when she
Really?
went there. So, but I mean, it was when they went, it was a rainy day. It was a Saturday. So, I mean, you're going to get probably, there's sometimes there's not a lot of stuff kind of going on in the area. So, because where we're at, I mean, we were still hounded by another snowstorm. So it was like, okay, well, I guess what are we going to do? Go to
Yeah.
like a movie or something like that or play out in the mud. So,
Yeah. I said on the show that I wanted to watch it only to make fun of it in like Jerks of the Week or something. But as a dad of a 3-year-old, a new 3-year-old, he just turned 3 a couple months ago, and a 19-month-old, I am not going to the movies anytime soon. Such says it's dropped every day you stream since it came out. Hilarious. Yeah, I mean, just for watching the commercials and the actress, it seems awful. But like I said, I wanted to see just to watch how bad it is and to make fun of it. So since I've seen clips of the ending on Twitter, I can't tell if they're legitimate. It seems like this year's Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, all the confetti dropping. I've seen that too. It looks horrible. I don't know if you heard this or if your wife told you, Butters, but apparently they named her Snow White in the movie because she survived the snowstorm. It's so stupid. Snow Wine, yeah, absolutely. Snow Wine, that's funny. All right. Last round. We start at 2001. Luke McCaffrey, 2002. Kyron Lacey, 2003. Jalen McLaughlin, 2004. Khalif Raymond, 2005. Quinn Ewers, 2006. Jalen Mechie, 2007. Tutu Atwell, 2008. Is Mike Wilson, 2009. Deshaun Watson, 2010. Yeah, Deshaun Watson. 2010, Tyler Lockett. 2011, Olamide Zacchaeus. 2012, Ray McLeod. And then you could drop further and talk about like Will Levis, Franklin, Akers, Moore, Hollins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like you might be able to find a diamond in the rough here. I suggest that, once you get to like round 18 and other people have taken the picks.
Noah Gray.
Noah Gray. Yeah.
Yes.
Where is he? What number was he?
He's down further.
Noah Gray. Where is he? I don't know. I mean, yeah, there he is. 276. Not bad. Not bad.
He could possibly be tight end 1.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kelsey is trending downward, and he didn't look too enthused to play in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I still think he's gonna be the starter, but like he is getting old, and he could get hurt at some point. But no, like I said, I think that it's worth it once like round 18 rolls around, and you just queue up some guys, just like sift through these. Like you might be able to find a diamond in the rough or something. Like Devon Vele, for example. I don't know if you like him, but like he had some decent games. Tim Patrick is a guy I drafted in the 20th round sometimes. Joe Milton the third, if who cares? Like who knows? He could get traded somewhere. For example,
backup quarterbacks. Like who's your favorite backup quarterback, or who you think is going to get injured? And it's like, okay, pick them. Maybe we might be able to spike a week. You never know.
Right. Exactly. So all right. So anyone else here you want to talk about?
Yeah, like I said, no Gray. I think that's kind of a steal to like way late. I don't think anyone's gonna. People might pick him if they see him if they're going down. Like, oh, I remember that name. I'm gonna pick him up. So, I'm surprised Lockett hasn't been picked up by a team yet. I know that he's kind of the corpse of himself. But I mean, if MVS is on a team, why is Lockett not on a team? So
yeah. I thought the Raiders would sign Lockett because of the Pete Carroll connection. But maybe, you know what? They're probably waiting until after the draft, like some team that doesn't get the receiver they want, they're just going to sign Lockett. I think that's the case with him, and like the Nick Chubbs of the world, J.K. Dobbins. Like I guarantee, like as soon as the draft's over and the team doesn't get a running back, they're going to sign Dobbins.
Ray McLeod kind of showed up a little bit with the Falcons, so I could see that go down a little bit. I got to remember some of these names here to trigger my memory a little bit. I've been so deep in the golf that some of these names are like, who are these people again? Let's see.
I can scroll down a little bit more.
I saw Rondale Moore on there. So
Rondale Moore. Yeah.
Hollins. Oh yeah, that's right. Hollins is not with Buffalo anymore.
Kavonte Turpin in DraftKings, you get points for kickoff returns. And John Sanders asked us much earlier. He said, "What targets do they have in Dallas? Like they might try to turn Turpin into something."
Mecole Hardman. You wrote him up here today with Packers picking him up as kick returner. I mean that they throw their wide receivers out every once in a while for these. I mean they won't have Christian Watson for a while, so they're going to play Wicks. Maybe they'll throw. I mean they would play Heath every once in a while. So what if they put Hardman out for to kind of play like a Christian Watson role? You never know.
Mm-hmm. Will Shipley, if Saquon goes down, I mean, 20th round, like what else are you going to do? I think Shipley is fine. I mean, just like I said, I think like trying to kind of like dumpster diving, like
Sean Tucker maybe.
Who'd you say?
Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker, yeah. That's another guy. He's interesting. He had that one big game against the Saints. It's in the middle of the season last year. Noah Brown is the third receiver on the Redskins. He has some decent games. I'm not sure, like he's not like my favorite guy down here, but I think that like he could do something. Jaden Blue just had a great pro day. He ran. I think he ran the 4.2s. So he might go earlier. So he's someone to consider late. I mean, nothing else stands out too much, but I mean, I'm sure there's someone down here that we could see, that we could find, and like eventually, maybe not now, but like down the road. Like I said,
Andy Dalton. I mean, if you want a quarterback, Andy Dalton always shows up every once in a while.
Yeah, and I'm not super convinced about Bryce Young. Stone Smart's kind of interesting. If you need a tight end, a third tight end.
Stone Smart, yeah.
Yeah, he's athletic. He just signed with the Jets. The Jets don't have a tight end now. Now they could draft a tight end, and that could like ruin this. But if they don't do that, then I think he's fine.
Maybe Burks. I mean, like depending on what the quarterback situation is at the Titans. I mean, maybe it's one of these Titans guys kind of shows up if Rodgers does go there. Who knows?
Right.
Dobbs, so I guess you got Dobbs down there. What if Drake May gets hurt? Maybe you play Josh Dobbs.
We got the Irish assassin, Tanner McKee. Definitely a fan of him. So no, I mean, like I said, Tim Boyle.
Josh Oliver is actually seen saw play. So
yeah, he's seen some play for sure. And then we have to mention Little Jordan Humphrey. That's Tom's guy. He's a free agent. This is blasphemous. He's on the Giants. He's not.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jasicki or Juice for San Francisco. I mean, if you've got no Kim McCaffrey, I mean, he's your fullback that's going to catch you. That's probably going to catch you like 2 or 3 touchdowns this year. I mean, if you're touchdown chasing, but I mean, I could see it. Stash him away. They've always got something for him.
Yep. All right. I think that's decent enough. So 4.28 Jaden Blue. Yeah, he ran a 4.28. So I think 20th round, why not? Like depends where he goes. Best original Disney movie opinions. I loved The Lion King when I was a kid. I watched it nonstop. I had the soundtrack when I was like 10. I love that movie. My son loved it just when he was younger. Now he loves Paw Patrol and PJ Masks. No, he loved Lion King. So my vote is for Lion King.
Have you introduced him to Bluey?
What?
Have you introduced your son to Bluey yet?
Bluey, yes.
My kids still love Bluey.
he likes Bowie, but he likes the other stuff more. But he will watch it if it's on. Bambi taught me how to hunt. Yeah, that like traumatized me when I was 6 and I watched Bambi, and that was rough. And the game I played recently, this game Ori, is for the Switch. It's like it has Bambi vibes to it because like it happens. This happens at the very beginning, so not really a spoiler, but you're basically like the small animal. You're kind of like a rabbit or fox or mouse. Like it's hard to, and not real. It's like a mix of those three. But like your mom dies at the beginning, and like you're just in the dark forest by yourself, and like your mom dies because she gives you the last fruit and she starves to death. It's like it's pretty brutal. It's like it happens right at the beginning. I'm like in tears, like playing right away. Like oh my god, like I can't go on. It's just like it's so brutal. But that was a great game. Maybe the best soundtrack I've ever heard to any video game. Love T says Noah Gray. He gets hella open. We wanted him to get more targets. Yeah, Noah Gray. We talked about him. Yeah, I think that he's a good late option. All right, I think that's about it. We're right at 2 hours right now. So I guess we should probably head out. Butters, thanks so much for coming on tonight. Last second notice because Kenny told me that he couldn't come on because he was moving. So Kenny will be on next week. And then tomorrow we'll do a draft like this. So I'm gonna look forward to it. So guys, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. John, thank you so much for the 411 super chat. Just really appreciate it as always. Butters, anything you want to plug before we head out?
No, I'm on Twitter and everything, but I just kind of do my own thing. So,
do you want to give your Twitter handle out? I'll post it in the chat for.
Yeah, it's Butters326 DFS on Twitter. So, I follow some things on there. So, yep, there you go.
Okay, yeah. Butters326 DFS. Give Butters a follow. But yeah, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it, like I said, we'll do a draft tomorrow around 10:30. So we'll be able to get into one unlike now. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, commenting, really appreciate it. And Butters, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, so yeah, have a great night, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.